So in this video, I'd like to share my experience visiting Lima, Peru after studying Spanish for a year and 8 months, rounded up about a year and 9 months. To start off this video, I'd like to say I know some of you have been waiting for my Peru videos. All of the Peru videos will not be like this. The majority of them will not be like this. I know I've gotten some comments before like, hey, we don't want to hear you speaking English. We want to see your interaction with the people. Tranquilos. I'm going to upload those videos. I have a lot of footage to edit, and I'm back at work, with my little side business and all that. So I'm going to get those videos out. This is just the first thing that I wanted to upload before I got back. Enough with that. This video is going to be broken down into 3 different sections. The first section is going to be my experience in Lima, Peru in particular with Spanish, the language, because this is a language learning channel along with a travel channel. So it's going to be, the first part will be about Spanish in particular. The second part will be about the people and the culture. And then the third part will be specifically about the city of Lima. I'll touch on a few different things like the weather, the food, the vibe that I got from Lima, all that kind of stuff. So I'll go ahead and start with my experience with the Spanish language. Now, unfortunately, I was disappointed in my experience with the Spanish language in Lima, Peru, in general. Now, that's like, what? What are you talking about? Isn't that the dream? You have the opportunity to be in a Spanish-speaking country. It is the dream, okay? But what I'm noticing now that my Spanish has improved to the point that it's at now is the novelty of basic interactions has worn off. So what I mean by that is this. I have a video coming out of me interacting with the airport staff. When my brother and I landed at the airport and people just started speaking to me in Spanish, I did not have to think. There was no hesitation. Like, I just responded in Spanish. I won't say fluently, but I just responded with no problem. I was understanding everything that was said to me. I was able to communicate myself well. And again, that might be counterintuitive. That might be like, why is that not a great thing? It is a great thing because it tells me that I've mastered that, that section of the language. But it's a bad thing because those kind of things used to excite me. Like, wow, I just made it through an airport. Like, wow, I just made it. I just ordered food with no problem. Now those things are like rank and file. It's like, duh. It's like a given, And so I was disappointed in that novelty has worn off. So it's a good thing and a bad thing. In reference to Peruvian Spanish in general, again, in this video, I'm specifically talking about the Limeño accent. I would characterize Peruvian Spanish as very crisp. Like, it's very crisp, clean, easy to understand Spanish. I will say, though, be careful because Peruvians, depending on the person that you're talking to, they can speak pretty fast. Okay, I wouldn't say that they're like Caribbean Spanish because that's a whole different beast. But they do speak pretty fast in certain instances. So I would say look out for that. But outside of that, I had a great experience with the Peruvian Spanish. I learned a lot of phrases. I'm going to say this a lot now. Me da cólera. Or a su madre. Or there are a lot of different Peruvian phrases and slangs. Slang, I don't know if that's plural or singular, but either way, jerga. I learned a lot of Peruvian jerga in my trip to Peru. And so I genuinely like Peruvian Spanish, like to the point that it's making me smile and laugh now. I really enjoyed my experience with Peruvian Spanish. Now to the next section of this video, which is the people and culture. Now, I'm going to make some broad generalizations here. And I genuinely, as a person, hate when people do this about any culture, any group of people, because if you've lived long enough and met enough people and talked to enough people and you've had friends from different backgrounds, you know that, you can't really generalize an entire group of people. But in the aggregate, for the most part, in my experience, I really enjoyed the Peruvian people. They were very warm, very nice. I rarely interacted with anybody with an attitude or that had like a sense of arrogance about them or any of the things that someone could experience in other countries around the world. I didn't experience that at all. Found them to be pretty open, warm, and once you interact with them, pretty genuinely curious people. Now the caveat there is once you interact with them, because what I did notice in my time in Peru is that I was telling my brother, I noticed that Peruvians mind their business. Like, I'm not going to say everybody's reserved, but I think culturally, the culture's a little bit more reserved, a little bit more low key. Again, not meaning that people won't speak to you. It's just that people just are in their own world. They mind their own business. And I noticed that more so there than I have in other countries that I visited. And for me, that's a great thing because I'm personally, I'm like that. Another thing that I noticed about Peruvian people at large is that it's something that I genuinely love. I love when I see this in people, in cultures, is that Peruvians for me seem like a very proud people, like muy orgullosos de quienes son. Like they're very prideful in who they are, their history. They know that they're the descendants of the Inca and that they were one of the most powerful and most intelligent civilizations to ever walk the face of the earth. Like these are things that the average Peruvian, in my experience now, I was there for only 8-9 days, but in my experience, the average Peruvian can tell you these things and is proud of their raíces, their roots. And so that's one thing that I loved. Another thing that I like is that Peruvians, going back to the point about being proud, I noticed that they're very, and again, this word has a negative connotation, but it shouldn't, okay? Sensitive about their stuff. And what I mean by that is, for example, I have a younger brother, right? I can mess with my younger brother, say certain things about my younger brother, but if someone that's not in our family does that, I'm going to be defensive. I noticed the same thing about things in Peruvian culture, Peruvian food, Peruvian customs, Peruvian history. I noticed that they're in a good way protective of their culture, protective of their history. And again, going back to that point of being proud. And I like that because again, to me, that's, I don't know, I just like that quality in people and in cultures when they're proud of who they are, because I'm like that. And so I definitely respected that and noticed that about the Peruvian people. And now to the third major point of this video, which is me just basically discussing some of the specifics about Lima, Peru, the safety, the vibe, the weather, all those kind of things. And I also wanted to note here that towards the end of the video, if you're interested in Peruvian history, one of the families that I was with, they took me to a light show in Lima that explains a lot about the history and just the beginnings of the history of Peru. And so if you're interested in that, just stay until the end of the video to catch that. But enough of that. Let's first touch on safety. Now, a lot of Peruvians, a lot of your family members here in the United States, a lot of everyone, that doesn't make any sense, a lot of people, will tell you, oh man, cuidado allá en Lima, cuidado, es muy peligroso. I personally did not find Lima to be very dangerous for my personal risk tolerance and my personal safety tolerance. Now, let me give you all some information on why I say that. We landed in Lima at night around like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. We got in the taxi. I look around. It's 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock now, right? I look around. I see women by themselves walking with their phones in their hands, looking down at their phone. I see men walking around with their phone in their hand by themselves, looking at their phone. These kind of things, and these things were happening in a neighborhood that many limeños will tell you es muy movido, which means it's very dangerous. Like very, I don't know the translation for that, but it's pretty dangerous. So they'll tell you that. When I landed and I saw that, I'm like, there's danger in every part of the world, but I don't know if the danger was exaggerated to me, because if this was that dangerous where you take out your phone and people are robbing you, why is it that I'm in one of the barrios, uno de los barrios que se dice es movido, one of the neighborhoods where they say it's kind of dangerous? Why are people walking around with their phones without a care in the world? Why are these things happening? Now, just to give you some reference, there's something called the World Safety Index. Peru is near the top of that. And so my point in saying all that, I did not find Lima to be very dangerous. Now, I did go to some neighborhoods with the family that showed me around. And again, they were telling me this neighborhood could be dangerous, can be dangerous at night. But I never, even in areas where they said could be dangerous, I never felt like somebody was about to come up to me with a gun and rob me. Even so, that Peruvians have told me, hey, here in Peru, it's not really like that. Somebody will try to sneak into your pocket, or they might walk up to you with a knife, but it's not like you're just going to walk around and somebody's going to shoot you for your cell phone, which is the case in some other countries that I visited. In any city, you want to be careful. In Atlanta, on the west side of Atlanta, I'm not going to be doing things that could put my life in danger. But at the same time, I would recommend Lima. Like, I don't think it's a city where you just have to get out of your car and you're a target immediately. Again, that's for my personal level of risk. I can't recommend it for everybody, but I didn't feel danger. I didn't feel a lot of danger in Lima, to be honest. When it comes to my favorite city in Peru, I can't say what my favorite city is. Number one, because I haven't visited all the cities, and for number two, because I would say that each of the cities that I visited have different things that I would say are my favorites. So for me, the food in Lima is the best in Peru. The best seafood because it's near the ocean. It's well recognized for being one of the best food hubs in the world, and I definitely see why. So the food was great. The weather, I went to Colombia and people were telling me like, oh, it's cold in Bogota. Bogota is not cold. Lima, Peru is cold. It's cold. Now, again, I'm from the South. I'm from Georgia. But Lima, Peru was actually cold at night. Like, it actually gets cold. So that's one thing that I could add there. But outside of that, I really enjoy my experience in Lima. Again, I have other videos coming out where you can actually see me speaking with the people and interacting with the people. I have a lot of Peruvian videos coming out, so just hang tight for that. But outside of that, I just wanted to share this quick video before I come out with all of those other videos. If you have any questions for me about the trip, if you have any suggestions or video ideas based on the information that I have or the footage that I have, if you have some ideas like, hey, we'd like to see you tell us how you got to Machu Picchu, whatever it is, just let me know in the comments below and I'll make sure to get that done. Other than that, hope you all sit tight and enjoy these, I like to call this my Peruvian series, these Peruvian videos that I have coming out. I'm super excited to upload these and edit them and all that. Like, there's so much good content that I'm ready to share with you all. So, yeah, if you have any questions for me, of course, let me know below in the comments. But sit tight and watch the explanation from my friend's sister about some of the historical pieces, some of the historical events and figures in Peruvian history. Me recuerda de Disney World, como el mundo de Disney que hay en los Estados Unidos. Sí.
De la época colonial, la antigua Lima.
Ah, okay.
Es por donde hemos estado. Hemos hecho tour, has visto esas casas con sus balcones afuera de madera,
sí,
que
de madera.
Se rompen.
Ajá.
Eso,
Okay.
eso es. En ese tiempo las mujeres así tapadas con su velo, las personas en su carruaje, los adinerados, ¿no? Y en ese tiempo existía la esclavitud.
Ajá.
Los Andes, los nevados del Perú. Esta es la parte tierra, con las lagunas. Esta es la selva del Amazonas. Esta es la primera cultura del Perú, Caral, que está al norte de Lima. Las líneas de Nazca en Ica está al sur de Lima, al sur del Perú. Las islas. La de Guadalupe. El mar del Pacífico. Machu Picchu. Cusco. Sacsayhuaman. Cusco. Chavín, la cultura Chavín. Otra cultura inca también.
Acerca de la cultura del Perú, de las ruinas, de los restos que se encuentran en las momias.
Culturas incas.
Culturas incas. Esta va a dar muchos incas.
Todo eso están en los museos. Todas las piezas de oro, la cerámica, todo en los museos. Esos están en Chiclayo, al norte del Perú también. En el departamento de Lambayeque. Nuestros tejidos.
¿Qué es eso?
Nuestros tejidos, nuestros bordados en las telas, en las sopas, de esos colores así de encendido. Las tijeras, nuestras danzas, la danza de las tijeras. Las danzas folclóricas de la sierra, lo criollo, de la selva también.
bandera.